I would like to request Professor Neelam Sharma, Director MAIT. I request all the dignitaries please come on dais. I request Professor Neelam Sharma, Director MAIT, to welcome Dr. BINDU KHOSLA with a sapling and memento.
A big round of applause, please.
Now I request Professor J.V. Desai, Director General MAIT, to welcome Ms. Priya Sahani with a sapling and memento. And now I request Dr. Sanjeev Marwa to welcome Ms. Shan with a bouquet with a sapling and memento. A big round of applause. Now I request Professor Sachin Gupta, Dean Research and Innovation, to welcome Mr. Jasmeet Sethi.
Thank you everyone. I thank all the dignitaries for welcoming our experts for the day. It's a matter of great pride to have Dr. BINDU KHOSLA with us today. She is an MBA Fellow of Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, and is gold medalist throughout. Her doctoral thesis is on developing on organizational culture in startups, framework, process, and outcomes. She has 29 plus years of rich work experience across industries. Dr. BINDU is strategic HR advisor to corporates. Her profile includes people and culture mentor, advisory board member, master trainer and executive coach, leadership development expert. She is executive coach for promoters of SMEs and XSOs of large companies. She has been involved in assignments for companies like IBM, Convergys, Fidelity, Computer Sciences Corporation, to name a few. Dr. KHOSLA is certified in design thinking, MBTI, Thomas assessment, strong interest inventory. Your success story, ma'am, has shown that with perseverance, dedication and a constant desire to learn can carve out a significant space in tech world. I would like to request you, ma'am, to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning to all of you. So there's been some movement, people coming forward. So maybe I'd like to start with a question for all of you. You know, I had plans to ask you a question and for which I wanted all of you to stand up, but I think it's not going to be in our interest to ask anyone to stand up now, right? There'll be another nightmare. So may I request all of you, wherever you're sitting, to put your right hand up or whichever is your dominant hand up. Fantastic. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and basis that you can put your hands down. Okay? My first question to you is, if I ask you people, you know, I'm actually mentoring a lot of companies, especially in the AI domain, right? Couple of startups, actually more, which are on the verge of being declared as unicorns. So I would like to take up some interns from here in the space of AI and ML. And one condition is that within 5 minutes, I want the resume to reach my number. Okay, fantastic. So we have quite a few hands up. Now, my next question is that those of you who have spent a lot of time thinking through how to design that resume, discussed it with your peers, with your teachers, with some mentors, dabbled in it, experimented, and manually typed in your resumes, put your hands down. Very good, honest answers. So how many hands are up? Can you just stand, the ones who have your hands up? One? Only one? He's the courageous one. Only, okay, we have another one. 3. So I want you people to give a round of applause to three people. 4, okay. Someone stood up slowly. The reason being that these are the people who have a ready resume, who know the power of artificial intelligence and perhaps have used it to churn out a resume which is powerful enough to make an impact, right? So I may not be able to tell you much on artificial intelligence being used by students to churn out their resumes because I made mine about 30 years ago, right? But since you people have made it, I'd like the three of you and the fourth one there to give me one learning that you'd like to share with the rest of the people of how you managed it and what was the tool which was most impactful. What part of the resume building through AI was the most powerful for you? In the meantime, the others can think through the same question. I'll ask the same question to them. What is the one learning that you want to share with the rest of them of how you used artificial intelligence to create your resume? Yes, sir.
The procedure I used was importing the data from my LinkedIn profile and then implementing using AI in my resume. And also the one thing I like about the AI resumes is...
Hello ma'am.
Yes.
So I used ChatGPT to create my resume. One thing I liked about it is its analyzer. I had an internship report. It analyzed them and sent me some one-liner, two-liner for my experience section in my resume. And there are other like Perplexity I use, but I like ChatGPT one better.
Excellent. And it helped you create your resume?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What's your name?
Abhay Saxena.
Ajay.
Abhay.
Abhay Saxena. Great, Abhay. Thank
Hello,
you.
ma'am. And I used ChatGPT for resume. First of all, I wrote all of my skills and all achievements to ChatGPT and generated a latex code. That latex code I then pushed into overleaf.com, which gave me a resume. Then I took the resume to AI score, which gave me out of 100 score of my resume.
And how much did you get?
80.
Excellent. What's your name?
Adarsh Bhardwaj.
Adarsh. Adarsh, excellent. I think all of you who are listening to what Adarsh, Shivam and Abhay have said, you need to understand that they have, taken a head start in the race because they've already adopted artificial intelligence in presenting themselves to the outside world, right? They have left an impact. Why not you all? Who's the fourth one there? Three people, a round of applause for them, right? Because there are learnings that we can take back from them in terms of how to create resume. Now, these three people and the others who are going to follow them have created a kind of a challenge for the industry. Okay? The reason being that when earlier we used to sift through resumes, it would give us an indication of that person. You can sit down, thank you. It would give us an indication on the kind of person who crafted that resume. Basis, are they organized? Are they, thinking methodically? Do they think of numbers? Do they think of quantification of every achievement? But now that AI has taken over resume building, we are not really assessing the candidate, but what the AI can do. And that kind of puts us on a platform that we have to think of newer and innovative ways of trying to select. So, having said that, you all understand the recruitment cycle. You know only your resume preparation and then the rest is a black box in the corporate world. I'm here in the next 15 odd minutes to share with you from the industry perspective how we look at artificial intelligence and how we are using it to enhance the recruitment, the initiative for the organizations. And once you hear it, once you absorb it, maybe you'll be in a position to do so much more with respect to your careers. Okay? So, if you notice, this is the entire recruitment cycle. You are only involved in perhaps the first, not even the first one, the second one, when the sourcing happens. The first one is about the preparation. The companies, when they are preparing for a job opening, they have to make a job description, right? So you get those job descriptions. But let me tell you the behind the scenes challenges. No one wants to do it. It's a very boring task. No one wants to sit and make a job description. So they align a junior person that please make something and we will try to tweak it to go out to the market. That is the number one challenge which messes up the entire cycle, because if the job description is not carefully crafted, we end up, going out and sourcing the wrong sort of people for the organizations. So that's the first challenge. You agree? Job descriptions, you must have gone through a lot of them in your, when you look for internships and all that, the job descriptions will be there. The second one is sourcing. So we go to Naukri, we go to recruitment consultants, we go to LinkedIn, and we go to various other platforms where you put in your resumes. And what happens is, it's very time consuming. So we again put it to the junior mid people. Please help us source it, right? And they bring out, say maybe for a particular job, they bring about 100 resumes to the senior management, and then comes screening. So the senior people say 100 resumes, how will we sift through them? Please align someone to screen these resumes. So again, a junior person called a fresh recruitment executive goes through these 100, and if you are in the same place, you will realize that these people want to play safe, right? The challenge is, playing safe for them means, let's pick up people, suppose it's an engineering job, let's look at applicants from IITs. Let's look at people with at least 2 years of experience, or look at internships in the, the big companies that are there. In the process, we lose very good candidates who may not be from the IITs, and we end up having lost someone who could have been a far better fit for that organization. Okay? Then comes, when we are trying to select them. So interviews happen. Again, people are not trained in organizations, largely. They are just doing a technical evaluation and they pass the candidate. And then an offer is made. Unfortunately, the challenge is still there. I'm just trying to dramatize the gloomy picture. It is not as bad, but for you people to absorb it, right? So what do? They say, okay, aapki last salary itni hai, let's give you 10% more, 20% more, whatever is the industry. So there would be two candidates. One candidate unfortunately had, a job which was not paying much, and the other candidate from the same college, same year, had got a good break. So both of them are absorbed at a great difference in salaries, because the trend is to just give a particular percentage hike over their existing salaries. A big, something that needs to be reworked in the industry. And then comes the onboarding. Have you noticed this entire cycle? It is full of challenges, and typically in the traditional setup, it takes about 60 to 90 days. The target is that let's finish a hire in about 60 days. It generally goes beyond, because people have joining, they have notice periods, etc. Okay? So what could be the current paradigm? I'm just brushing that for you. Resumes, recruitment is successful by the number of applications. It's a current paradigm, needs to change. You cannot judge the success of recruitment by the number of applications. Because if you have even a single application and is a right fit, the recruitment should be considered successful. Agreed? Yeah? The second is, by and large, there's a job posting. Do you people see the Naukri? There's a job posting that comes, internshala, right? So we look for the people who are active job seekers or internship seekers, right? So they go onto it, they apply, and they get it. So active job seekers or internship seekers are the one who are the target audience in the current setup. Niche roles. I am facing a challenge in the startup that I was talking to you, and I'm going to use that as an example because it's most relevant to you. The niche roles, the recruitment consultants are charging us anywhere between 20 to 25% of their current cost to company, the cost to company, as a recruitment fee, because these are roles not available. And what's the niche role? Data science, right? And it is such a niche role that when you take on those people, what happens is there's a lot of job shopping that's happening. Just 2 days ago, a person who was just about 2 years experience was at a package of 18 lakhs. He came back with a job offer of about 30, and we needed that person very desperately for our operations. So there was a lot of negotiations, but net we ended up offering him 50 lakhs, right? Nothing to do with his experience. Experience was just 2 years. It was more a demand supply thing. So again, niche roles they completely take the ball outside the park. one challenge. We all, I'm sure all of you who are making resumes are told, use the right keywords, right? Because anyone who's sifting through the various portals will use keywords to identify. It's again a challenge. Because suppose someone says we need project management experience and you have defined yourself as a program manager, the word project did not come up and you lose a chance even if you were very, very well qualified for that. Yeah? Shortlisting pains, I mentioned to you, generally done at junior levels. They don't want to take high risks because some of the candidates who are exceptional performers, who can be stars, generally don't follow the regular path of the job search. So they get sifted out. People have a lot of questions. If you get an offer, a mail, telling you about a job opening, if you ask a question and there's no response for say a week, you lose interest, right? It's gone out of your memory. Lengthy process. Every question to be answered, you need 5 or 6 people. They don't talk the same language. Things go wrong. How many mails do you get from Naukri that there is an opening which matches just your thing? Just give me a number. In your mailbox, do you get that, there is an offer? How many? Quite a few. Quite a few, right? Do you even open them? No, you don't, right? So that's the reality of our recruitment current paradigm. And what happens is we have to fill up positions in the company. We have a target. So we end up hiring someone who's average or below average, and then the person is a misfit, then he's fired, and then there's a cost of rehiring. That's the current scenario. Okay? So now I'm here to tell you how AI has transformed the complete recruitment process for us. And we are really thriving and we are excited about the benefits that have come to the entire recruitment cycle. The first impact. What was happening till now is there was a company and you people were applying for those companies, right? So who was bargaining power was with who? Which party, you or the company? The company, right? They are the ones offering the job and you are trying to apply for it. AI has gone ahead and changed that paradigm completely. Now they are reaching out to people. The artificial intelligence calculates what is the kind of skills that are needed, who is that person who has that skill from their entire database, and there you get a mail in your mailbox that this job is for you, right? So this paradigm shift that has happened, it also attracts. Do you agree with it? That now where is the bargaining power? You're sitting working happy in your jobs and you get a mail that would you be interested in that job? Who has the bargaining power? The candidate, you people, absolutely. You people have the bargaining power now. So the entire thing has shifted. You know who are passive candidates? Who are passive candidates? Anyone? The ones who currently in a job who are not looking out for a job. And these become the major target using artificial intelligence. And data shows that 70% of the population is passive. And the even more startling fact is that they are 120% more effective in creating an impact in the organization. Because the assumption is the ones who are seeking a job either don't have a job, were not doing well, did not like it, and their productivity will be low in the initial stages. The moment you capture a passive candidate, talking from the company's point of view, you get a guy or a girl who is absolutely thriving, ready to deliver, right? So that's one of the major impacts that has come from artificial intelligence. In seconds, we get the data. We just key in what we need, and there it is. And it is not sequential, because otherwise when we were doing it manually, we would first go to LinkedIn, then we'll go to Naukri, then we'll go to Monster. Here, it just a command is given, and there is a list of all possible candidates, active, passive, or semi-active, who are all there in the pool. engineers. So it also goes into all the various platforms, GitHub, Stack Overflow, where engineers post their resumes. So at one glance, AI helps us to look at the entire pool. And we crash timelines. Earlier it was sequential, first take one platform, then another. Here, at a click of a button, we get the entire pool seen, scanned and shortlisted. The fourth impact. Keyword search is no longer there. It's more an intelligent search. AI helps us to understand the job and understand maybe there are some skills not mentioned in those words, but that is what is needed. So again, we have moved to focusing not on the words being used, but to the talent. Good candidates don't get missed out now just because they did not use the right keyword. And missing, the beauty of AI is that a word may not be there, but they can just predict. For example, one may say data science, but it will predict that the person will know coding, right? So just because they've not used that word, there is a predictive process adopted by AI to be able to take care of that. Fifth impact, faster screening of candidates, because now we have an algorithm which says these are the candidates who need to be shortlisted. So it's efficient and fast, and there is no bias. Sixth impact, I'll limit it to 10. There are plenty more, but after that we will request the panel to share more of them. So the sixth one is optimization of candidate engagement. Imagine if you put in your resume somewhere and immediately you get a response. Thank you. It is interesting to see that you have these skills, just what the company needs. It makes us feel motivated. It makes us feel that yes, we are being, our skill is being recognized and our interest levels don't go down. So this kind of an optimization of engagement helps keep the interest alive. And that's one of the biggest challenges being faced by companies, that there are such high dropout rates where people were initially interested and then they showed no interest. They stopped taking calls. So customized outreach, so every person will get a different mail basis, whatever has been captured by AI about that particular profile. And timely engagement versus limited response time when you do it manually. So here you don't have to wait. Otherwise, when it will be morning, when the recruitment executive will have time, they will respond, they may not respond, etc. Seventh impact, all recruitment tasks are largely automated. 75% of recruitment tasks are automated. We use chatbots. Companies use, so whatever queries, middle of the night when you got the time, you'll get an instant response, 24/7 availability of the chatbots. And now, I don't know how many of you read about it, but now even the interviewing process is taken over by bots. And they are all conditioned, all that machine learning is there for them to ask the right questions and give a complete analysis using, neuro-linguistic programming, using your, demeanor, how many times you blink your eyelid, how much time you're taking. So they predict, this is the confidence level, this is the person who seems to know the answer, he may not be, he's trying to guess the answer. So all that is being taken over by AI. So the video bots give a complete analysis and help in the shortlisting of the second level also, not just the screening. So interest is obviously kept alive. You always have that bot always awake to give you that answer that you're looking for. Programmatic hiring. So the AI is out there, hidden somewhere, watching your movements, watching what you are visiting, which kind of jobs you are looking at, and at what time do you look at, and just when you are sitting the next day, there will come a pop-up, this job is right for you. You're looking at the right space. So it's programmatic marketing completely driven by AI and machine learning playing an important role. Reach the right talent at the right time. This company that I'm talking to you about, where I was talking to Dr. Neelam that I would look at for some interns for that company, they are into programmatic marketing for healthcare professionals, right? So it is fascinating to see how they have mapped when the doctor is at the time when he is going to prescribe a medicine, and immediately at that time the pop-up comes, this is this patient, this medicine will best suit that person. Or this patient does not seem to have enough money, so please offer a co-pay kind of a facility where the pharmaceutical company is trying to subsidize the medicines, right? Otherwise they will not take it. So it's fascinating how AI is also helping, reduce the healthcare costs and do good for the community. Job offers completely as per your skill set. That's programmatic marketing. They have already captured what skills you are writing, what are the keywords you're writing, and they know that is your interesting. I think I've already talked about it, customized messaging as per profile. So you will get a message that you almost filled it, what happened. Just the last two blanks of the application are left. It'll take you a minute, complete your application. Imagine if that nudge is given. If we are on that fence, karen ki nahi kare, and immediately you get this nudge from outside, that is just a minute, there's a tendency for you to take it up and finish it off. And there you get added into that. AI has the ability to predict which kind of skills are needed, which will be successful and make that role holder more successful. When they identify those skills, then they will automatically suggest that these are the kind of profiles that are needed for this role and reach out to you if you have that skill set that you are rightly suited for that role. That's what happens on LinkedIn when they send you that thing that you have a 87% match with the role. Why don't you go ahead and apply? Challenges that are there. One is your privacy. Obviously, with anything to do with technology or artificial intelligence, everyone raises their hands and says, how private is my data? It's like the ladder of inference, the second point. If your algorithm is not correct, you may include some kind of biases, subconsciously, unconsciously, into the entire process, and that could perhaps derail the entire advantage of artificial intelligence. And there's a limited, touch. The human touch is always there. People may think it's much too expensive, so why we are doing well, we have a large team, let's just continue with the old way of doing things. And we don't know how the AI really does it. So there's a black box. If something goes wrong, we will not know what went wrong. And suddenly we'll have a completely different talent pool being put in front of us. And my last one, what AI cannot do. Remember when I said 75% can be automated, that 25% remains with the human beings. You cannot automate recruitment 100%, right? There is an element where we need to possibly look at, probe further, deeper questions, basis the answers that are given, which AI may not be able to do. In the company that I'm talking about, we are about 200 people, 50 in the US and the rest in India. But I, being their people and culture mentor, I interview each and every candidate for a cultural fit. Are they culturally aligned? Which is something we have not been able to do successfully using AI. So that human element is very essential where, if the promoter asks me, what's your gut feel? Will he, is he aligned to us or not? There is no data, it is just a feeling. That feeling can never come in that artificial intelligence model. Decision makers still have to be the human element, right? They have to take a call whether that person is going to work or not. And again, that is more intuitive and less data driven. There's no guarantee that people, who are selected through AI are going to be successful. Emotional intelligence plays a very important role, and this is something which AI has still not been able to figure out. Let's wait for another decade. Maybe that it will be figured out, but we'll still keep the 20% with us, with human. The human touch is most important, right? So thank you so much. This was about what I felt was a transformative benefit of AI in recruitment, and I'll hand over to Sean to take over the panel discussion on the same topic. Thank you so much.
We are also delighted to have Ms. Pia Sahani as an expert in the panel discussion today. Ms. Pia has several years of corporate experience and worked in creative industry for nearly 25 plus years. Currently, she is at Adagio VR, a mental well-being tech company, as MD. She works with executives who want to create high-functioning, happy teams in order to increase productivity, performance, and profit. Adagio VR utilizes trauma-based therapy, which is accessible and scalable through VR. Next, we have Mr. Jasmeet Sethi with us today as an expert in the panel discussion. Mr. Sethi's leadership and remarkable achievements at SHL have made a significant impact in shaping the future of talent assessment and development. His dedication to drive innovation in human capital management and helping organizations identify and nurture talent is truly commendable. Your career at SHL serves as an inspiring example of how innovation, strategy and people-centric approach can drive success. And the next dynamic expert among all is Ms. Shan Vats. The journey of Ms. Vats at Infosys is a testament of her hard work, innovation and leadership. It's rare to come across individuals who excel in such a fast evolving industry while maintaining a passion for mentoring and inspiring the next generation. Thank you all of you for being present here. Now I request ma'am to please take over the stage for the panel discussion.
So the topic given to us today, hovered around artificial intelligence and recruitment. But since Dr. Bindu has covered most of what we were supposed to speak in her presentation, so I take the liberty to modify the topic a little bit and make it more generic. So the modified topic is going to be the transformative role of artificial intelligence in human resources. Okay? Since Priya is also here, so I would also want to touch upon how artificial intelligence is helping us manage employee well-being. Okay? But before we delve into the topic, I have a question for the audience. And I don't want the front line to answer that. I see a lot of hands going up from there. I want the students to participate. And backbenchers are my favorite, okay? So understand that, okay? So this boy is sitting right at the back with his earphones on. I can see your earphones, by the way, just in case you thought I didn't. I want to know what you think is artificial intelligence. Great. What's your name?
Ma'am, my name is Gavish Alawat.
Alawatji, what is artificial intelligence?
Ma'am, artificial intelligence is something that we are creating and working on, that we can give a mind that can think on its own, basically.
Basically think on its own. Anybody else who wants to add to the definition? I want some ladies to speak now. Diversity is a very important element that's coming in the corporates, especially of late. So can we see some hands of some ladies, brave ladies going up? This lady here with the specs on, who's writing something. Can you please nudge her? Yes, what's your name? Please stand up. Are you giving your attendance? I think that's why most of you are here, right? Please stand up. What is, according to you, artificial intelligence? What's your name, first of all?
My name is Gulpreet.
Gulpreet, what's your specialization?
I'm from Maths, PGDM.
Okay.
So artificial intelligence basically for me is converting the information in such a way that we can use it in such a manner that we don't have to waste time doing things that we used to do earlier. I mean, technology has become so advanced that it saves time. And
no murmurs, please.
It saves time, then we can get things done in just a few clicks these days. So basically, it is a helping hand which we can use for saving our time.
Okay, helping hand that can help us save time. Okay, anybody else? Yes, please. Very good. What's your name? I really like people who are enthusiastic. Do we have some giveaways to give to the students who participate? What's your name? Please give me your name, your specialization, and then speak.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Tanu from BTech and first year student in computer science and engineering.
Okay.
According to me, AI is a machine in which we are stimulating human qualities like decision making, problem solving and computing and analyzing the problems.
Okay, very good. So she said, we are trying to replicate human qualities in a machine. Very good answer. That. A round of applause for her, please.
Thank you.
But how does this artificial intelligence function? How does it acquire those human qualities? Can somebody analyze and dissect that? Excellent. What's your name? Shivam. Shivam बहुत artificial intelligence पे काम करता है. At least he focuses on the topic. I know he was answering Dr. Bindu as well. Yes.
Hello, I am Shivam Gupta from IT branch.
Very good.
First year. So AI, we ourselves teach AI what to learn, in what way it should learn its database.
Yes.
Then it analyzes those data and gives answers based on what we know.
Very good. So there's a terminology used for it. What is it? ML. Full form क्या होता है ML का? Machine learning. So can I say that a machine or an artificial intelligence system is like a small child? जैसे बच्चा पैदा होता है,
just a newborn child.
Newborn child.
We teach it from base.
Excellent. Okay, so very good answer. So AI is like a newborn child which is learning. So who's the person training the AI? Who's the person training the AI?
Users.
Users.
Those who are using the AI from the initial stages.
Okay. And how does AI become more and more perfect?
By learning from its own mistakes when users give feedback to the AI.
Very good. So please understand that even AI uses humans to get that intelligence. So what they are essentially doing is replicating the human intelligence in some way. So don't think that artificial intelligence in itself is going to be a competition to you. No. Artificial intelligence is going to be an assistance to you. Understand that first. Now coming to the human resource aspect of it. What is human resource? What is HR? What do human resource people do? What is HR? The topic is transformative role of AI in human resource management. What is human resource? Can anybody say? Any management students here? Yes, please.
It's basically to utilize the skills of humans in fulfilling the functions of a company.
Excellent.
What the role they desire. So
Excellent.
that would be fulfilled through the skills having in a particular kind.
Okay. And human resource is not limited to recruitment, as you might know. Everything, the entire employee life cycle, right from the entry point to the time that they're there in the organization to the exit time, everything is managed by the human resource managers. Okay, so recruitment is one element of it, which ma'am has covered in details during her session. So my first question to my panel here, Dr. Bindu, especially you, how do you see AI evolving, especially in the present era? What are your feelings about, let's address the elephant in the room. Can it replace humans?
Yes, it can be. The word that you used, it was interesting, that it is good as an assistant to humans, so long as it is used as an assistant. The moment the humans start being slave to the decisions taken by artificial intelligence, that's a very dangerous situation for this era. So we need to know what it can, what it cannot do, and we need to, at the end of it, keep the final call with the humans, because there is a certain amount of unpredictability in human beings, which the artificial intelligence cannot capture. It can capture everything that is rational, that is predictable, but humans are a complex being and they are a mix of predictability and unpredictability. So that second aspect needs human intervention.
Very interesting answer. So I'm sure a lot of audience are actually relieved after hearing that answer. At least their jobs are not stolen. Okay, so rest assured, your jobs are not going to be stolen, but your jobs are going to evolve. The jobs that are relevant today might not be relevant tomorrow. The job description and the job roles will change. Okay? Now, you know Jasmeet, right? He's the SHL guy. Okay, so Jasmeet, you were the pioneers in the recruitment space. So I have a question related to the recruitment aspect of HR. How is artificial intelligence transforming recruitment processes?
So my first question to the audience is that how many of you think that AI is a technology? Raise your hand. How many of you think that AI is a technology? Raise your hand. Pull out it. AI is a technology. So are you in for this? So you're all wrong. AI is not a technology. AI is just a concept, right? The technology is something which is the base of AI. So I think there where we basically go wrong, right? So we misunderstand the AI as a concept and we put that into as a technology framework, right? Now as far as the recruitment process is concerned, I have seen my days when I was basically, studying. I studied, in IP University. We used to give, the recruitment test on pen and paper model. And then we used to wait for a good number of days, by the time the results were out. Now everything is on the cloud. And, if I talk about the recruitment process, you'll be interested to hear this, that as an organization, we have designed a bot which takes interviews instead of the human beings. We inject almost 15 odd questions, and the bot is able to take the interview in 25 minutes. And in the 26th minute, you are ready with the results. And what the bot does? The bot basically does not evaluate the content, but evaluates the behavior of a candidate. How is sitting, slouching, making funny faces, expressions, engagement, anxiety, composure level, how much you frown, right? So I'm wearing a turban, right? So how much I frown, that can be even taken care of. Cheeks in, cheeks out, tongue in, tongue out, biting my nails. All of that is now what a bot can do. And we are doing this from past 6 years. So the bot is getting trained, and it's getting regularly trained. And very interestingly, one of our R&D engineers today in the morning, he has sent in an email which I was just reading. Very interesting. He said that we have a new version attached to it, and I asked like, wow, what it is? It is a conversational AI. Have you heard about this? Generative AI and conversational AI. This ask was from an organization called Google to SHL, that can you inject emotional quotient in your interviews? Can bots be emotional? And now the answer is yes. To an extent, yes. So I can actually have some kind of emotions wherein the bot can ask some series of questions from your answers itself. Right, so all of that is actually happening, and things have really evolved in terms of recruitment. There are a lot of these things which we can talk about it, but yes, as what ma'am said, what is relevant today will not be relevant tomorrow, and what JDs are relevant today probably will not exist even after 10 years from now. Yeah.
Very well answered, Jasmeet, and got some great insights, especially on the conversational AI stuff. Pretty interesting. So Pia, you are a mental well-being specialist. So I want to ask you your views on how artificial intelligence is changing the well-being space.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really grateful that sitting beside really learned expertise. Is my audible to all of you? The last person. So all these conversations might be making you more scary about the fact that how will we cope with what's happening in the world, and by the time we are out, what more is going to come. The fact is not to really make it so complicated in terms of worrying the fact that how to beat these intelligence which is coming around. The idea is to be very authentic of what you are learning here. The institute you are in is like the most fortunate time of your life, and by the time you will come out, I'm sure you will have best of skills where people would love to have you. So I'm sure all these jari words which are really coming in, I really learnt very clearly the people who are authentic, who are really working on what they're learning and creating that as a possibility, are the ones who are going to be picked up no matter what. So AI is like a tool, it's not a barrier. Even the industries all where we are all applying, they also need us, right? Not to make it more complicated, it's very, looks like very complicated that which keywords to use, and ma'am really shared that even keywords are not needed. So it becomes very confusing that where to work on and what to do. And I really trust that focusing on your mental well-being in terms of regarding this fact that as far as you are fundamentally very strong in terms of your learnings, your intelligence, in terms of your emotional well-being, everything will be taken care. Coming to AI part, as Jasmeet also mentioned, that how these machine learnings are even picking up how I'm speaking right now, how I'm confident, do I know my subject, am I making it up? Everything is picked up in seconds. But the best part is that we all can do a lot of learning towards preparing ourselves for video interviews. Lot of practice of seeing that what is there I need to improve, what is there I need to work on, I think even if these are there, most important is that when you reach the human interaction, your authenticity, your understanding, your fundamentals are picked up by the humans by the end. So the last deciding factor, the one who decides about your recruitment, is human only. So really, emotional well-being and everything, as per as what we are working on is we work on the aspect of trauma, and we really feel that all the behaviors, what we are expressing right now, or like how we manage everything, it comes from the past. It comes from the traumas from our childhood, from the incidents we are having right now. So we form certain behaviors based on that. So once those traumas are addressed, one is able to form new behaviors and take a lead from here. So it is very important to address those traumas, not to let them be, because they also help us to perform super well once we are out there in the market. So these things are important to work around.
Now, Dr. Bindu, you are also a hardcore academician. And let me share with you, by the way, Dr. Bindu is also a faculty at ISB Hyderabad. ISB is one of the top-notch B schools that we have in the country. So, Dr. Bindu, I want to understand the role of artificial intelligence in the academic sector.
Good question, Shan, but will I get a chocolate for that? All right. So, very interesting. There is an element of blended learning that has come about in the field of academia, right? My feeling is that depending on the need of the students or the learners and what their circumstances are, one or the other is important. We can't just give a blanket statement that yes, online or driven by AI kind of learning will be something which will be more acceptable. So for people who are with experience, who cannot give up their jobs, they get into a self-paced kind of learning modules, right? But ultimately, my personal belief is always skewed towards the human element. So I have personally seen that between online AI-driven, contexts that are developed vis-a-vis professors who are there in person using all the 5 senses to kind of gauge the student receptivity, etc., is far more effective. So we cannot take away the impact, the power of learning face-to-face with professors who are gauging all our 5, using their 5 senses to capture the essence of the learner and giving them what they need. So it's both. Blended is the way forward for most corporates, for most institutes, because that helps people take the benefit of both the automated kind of learning that is being provided plus the human element. Case studies is something where only human elements does take over.
Ma'am, I have a follow-up question on that, especially with the chat GPT and generative AI coming in. The way students do assignments have changed. I see a lot of smiles and naughty smiles on people's faces. So how are you tackling with that as a faculty? What are the challenges it poses to you, and how are you going about tackling that?
So yes, just like I mentioned earlier on, that it is no longer the assessment of the students, but how well they have used the keywords in the chat GPT to churn out their report. So I think the onus has come back to the professors, to the people who are in charge of this learning, to devise ways where the assignment mode is no longer being used as an assessment tool, because that is not the barometer on which you can assess the capability of students. So as of now, I think we are in a transition phase in the academic world where we are still going back by the old methodology of asking for assignments, and there are enlightened professors who have realized that we have to change the game completely. The rules of the game have to change, and it is going to be more case study driven, where ChatGPT has little to offer except your, so it has to be a higher order thinking skills which are still missing in AI.
I think that deserves a chocolate, so Dr. Bindu, over to you. Thank you so much. And by the way, I have a lot of chocolates to give away. So all those kids who ask really good questions, and if the the speaker here feels that it is a good question, they'll get these chocolates. So make sure that you're participative.
I'd like to even add something.
Yeah, please.
I think the AI is obviously not the smartest out of all, but it is getting smarter and smarter, as I mentioned earlier. In our organization, whenever we basically go and get into the recruitment mode, especially in the B schools, we have designed our internal tool. Obviously, we have not made it public yet, but it does a plagiarism check, right? So what we basically do is that we ask the candidates to upload their projects, and many of you might have copied it or probably pulled it down from the ChatGPT, because that's the most, I would say, predominant tool that probably you're using it. So what we have done is that there are a lot of third-party extensions which you can give it to your software and can do a plagiarism check, which is 90% probably tried and tested and proof that yes, if there is something that is copied from ChatGPT, that can be caught, right? So these systems are also learning in. They are also taking in this concept that okay, ChatGPT is one, but then there are Binge. There is another tool which is basically where everyone is copying it from. So the tools are getting smarter and smarter, and you have to basically use AI with a caution. And we were discussing again in the organization that can there be a topic of ethics in AI? Can a college introduce, how to use ethics in AI? I mean, that's an interesting topic, but no one actually covers this all about. So, I think you might have heard about Elon Musk, who probably was talking about some of the AI cars and AI bots that has been introduced. And Mr. Modi probably talks about AI in ethics. So this is something that is going to be very interesting in the years to come. And yeah.
I find that interesting. Yes, there's a plagiarism test that has been there, and I've seen students actually use that prior to submission, and then trying to tweak their statement so that they are not caught in the net of the plagiarism test. So ultimately, I feel even with those kind of tools that are coming up, the attention has shifted from the topic of the assignment to kind of beating the system. If AI is smart, students are smarter. So the attention is no longer on the topic, which should be the essence of assignment. It's more like, how can we beat the plagiarism test? That's been happening.
Absolutely. And that brings me to the next question, okay? We are engineers, but we are very good at reverse engineering. So like ma'am mentioned that, when you're making resumes, people will make it ATS friendly, use the right keywords, make sure that the resume gets shortlisted. Yes, they will also use ChatGPT and reverse engineer to make sure that they are not caught. So, Jasmeet, I want to understand that how are we as professionals or human resource professionals dealing with this, and what is the role of AI in this particular area? The reverse engineering, catching hold of people who are using it unethically.
So I think, the major intention of the AI is to reduce the false rejects. I think that's where the AI was actually designed. They want to empower the HR. Rather, they want to use this data and they want to leverage this data instead of doing a reverse engineering and basically rejecting everyone out of that. So ideally, we don't want to do that, right? But, ever since that AI is not a part of every organization, every sector, right? The health sector you talk about, the media sector you talk about, in the journalism, in the law you talk about, the computers that you talk about, it's almost everywhere, right? But as what Shan said, the reverse engineering is something that we don't intentionally do that, but we are being forced to do that, right? We have all of these tools in place, and as Dr. Bindu said, that students are way too smarter, than the systems. And my R&D engineer and my R&D team says that yes, students should be smarter than their system, because then only they'll find the bugs, right? So you find a bug and we'll fix it, right? So that's an exchange of information that what we do. But I think the entire process of HR is getting scrutinized. It's getting tougher day by day. But I think AI should be used as a tool in order to use this data and leverage the data in order to take informed decisions. right? So the idea is to ensure that the rejects, the false rejects actually go really down.
So Pia, you spoke about trauma, which sounded really interesting as a place where artificial intelligence is being used, to heal people. So can you give us a case study or something that you've done in this space which you might want to speak about?
For that, I want to ask, cover letters still exist? And cover letters have some value, even if they are, Dr. Bindu, if you can throw a light on this, because I really feel that that's where all the magic happens.
There are two ways to look at it, Priya. The cover letters do exist. AI is crafting some very interesting cover letters, but again, it is AI who is doing it. So we've started discounting the language and everything in the thing because it is not the individual who's writing, but AI is writing it. So they still, I think very soon, give it a few years, they will just vanish, cover letters.
So we need to be a little more authentic there as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For me, when I look at a resume for hiring, there is a section called career objective. So the moment I see an AI kind of language there, that resume loses its value. But where I see an authentic, very simple statement that I want to learn more and work in this sector, that completely floors me. That here is a genuine statement there.
Yeah, so I think we got the answer where everything is not a cover letter, but yes, it creates a lot of value. And I believe in that because when I ask for cover letters from the ones I've, like shots selected and all, I do go into their cover letters more than what they are offering as their resumes, because cover letters really show up, are you using ChatGPT or really talking about yourself? So your cover letters, it's not about how good your, language is. It is about your story of what you are. Even if you write a paragraph, it should show up who you are and really create a lot of effort in making that a very pure letter to somebody, sharing that this is what I am. So rest all, I think, adds up to, right? So coming back to trauma, I went to, our team went to this organization who have around 1,000 of blue-collar workers. And they are into very heavy-duty, industry work. And they were challenging in terms of retention, despite paying so much of amount of money to these people, higher than what the industry is offering. And still there was a retention issue. And we as a team had gone there, and as you heard that we provide mental wellness through virtual reality, and we have various programs based on trauma. Out of scanning of these 80 lives in one day, as a counselor, maybe somebody may be able to reach out to 5-6 lives in a day. We could touch upon 80 lives, and these 80 lives, out of one was suicidal, in terms of when we were able to scan and really look at their emotional quotient. We realized this one person is really struggling with grief and struggling with so much what is carrying in his life. And in those 80 lives, once when he took our program, his, the quotient level was around 7 as most highest distressed levels. In one session, he came down to 2. And it is not that I have given him full relief, but that's where I could save that life that day. And we'll be going back again, and in one day we are able to reach out to 80 to 100 people. That's itself remarkable because of such technologies, because of such great inventions which are not only focusing on CBT, talk therapy, because they reoccur. In these programs there is no recurrence, and 97% of improvement in stress, anxiety, and various other like PTSD and stuff. So more important to understand that sometimes we were having this chat in the ma'am's room, and where people use stress, anxiety as a excuse sometimes, and I was asked that is it an excuse or like we genuinely are going through these concerns. And I truly believe even if somebody is using this as an excuse, this behavior also needs to be changed. And it is coming from some past traumas which we need to really work on and transform. So as we go ahead with dealing with so many lives, and as you understand emotional intelligence and everything is required to have a better team, such kind of things needs to be addressed, and past traumas should be taken off from everyone's back so that they can perform better, they can become a better team. And also the environment we seek for in our organizations are taken care.
Very good answer, Pia. I have a follow-up question to that, and since we're dealing with Gen Zs here, okay, my 11-year-old daughter says that I'm very stressed and I'm feeling very, depressive sometimes. She used the words anxiety. And I don't remember me having these words in my vocabulary at that age. Do you think that this, like you said, these words are being overused and probably sometimes even to kind of get that sympathy factor maybe? But is the Gen Z actually that stressed? If you look at the lifestyle, they're much better off than our generations in terms of comfort, in terms of availability of technology. What is your assessment per se about Gen Zs? Are they actually that stressed? And what are those, if at all yes, what are those stress factors?
So Shan, it's a very prevalent question. It's not about the fact that they are making this as an excuse, or this is like how come when we are providing them the best, they are still feeling stressed or anxiety. The fact is that life has become more complex than the times when we were born. We were having very few things in our hands, but we used to go out and play. And we had so many friends to talk to and so many friends to enjoy with. Right now, we all have, confined to our phones and gadgets by all means, and we have somewhere made it more complex in terms of we are not able to express very freely. We are not sure what is happening, and there is so much in one moment that one's mind is going around. One is that I have a peer pressure that I have to perform in certain way, I have to look in certain way, I have to become so and so's because otherwise I'll be left alone. So FOMO factor is the most important thing which has come to Gen Zs a lot. And this needs to be addressed, because if somebody is outcrying about this small help, we must sit and have dialogue. And it is very important to address it and not let it go, because it will increase more and more.
So that brings us back to a pertinent question, Pia, that in a scenario where most of us are single child, at least the next generation, they have a lot of virtual friends in social media but very less real friends. I think again, an important question, can technology and artificial intelligence replace the human touch? I think my assessment of the situation from what you spoke and whatever my understanding is, that it is because of the human factor in their lives that this particular generation is actually more stressed, or rather they don't have a place to vent their emotion and talk to real humans. Any views on that, Dr. Bindu?
I think you're absolutely bang on, Shan, that they are so comfortable in the comfort zone is with the devices, right? Just the fact that we urge this generation to go out and interact stresses them out. What was natural to us in our generation is something which is foreign to them, and it's like coming out of their comfort zone to go and just say hello to someone else. So the stress reasons are because we are the culprits. We are the ones who have nurtured them with allowing that space, and that is why we see so many of the parents now having those groups to discuss how do we wean our children away from the devices. But human interaction is not something which was natural to us. It is not natural to them at all. It is a stress factor in itself.
And finally, this brings us to the end of the discussion. Now I have 4 chocolates and 4 smart questions will get these chocolates. So can I see some raise of hands on anything on this topic that you want to ask the experts? So any takers for these chocolates, and they're nice ones, fruit and nuts. Okay, so any takers? Yes, very good.
Good morning, everyone. Ma'am, I have a question. Like, we all know that QStar is about to get launched from OpenAI in few months. It is renamed as Cherry. It even led to a lot of controversies. Even we saw in the news with Sir Sam Altman and everything. Then Microsoft came into play. So, for them, many board of directors even said that it can lead to threats. But as you all said, that it can never go beyond humans. Okay. For some point of time, if it goes beyond humans, what could be the destructive effects? And if cannot, and if some point of time, if it leads to a situation that we have to shut down the AI, then how can human resource can tackle that situation, and how can they redevelop? Because we all know that if AI shutdowns, everyone goes beyond 10 to 15 years from now. Because everyone is totally dependent on AI these days. So how would human resource tackle that? And yeah, that's my question, which I want your point of views over that.
So see, in my understanding, as far as I understand, AI will never die. AI is going to evolve, right? And there is a very small component attached to AI is predictive analysis, right? So we build the data in a way where we are able to predict what is going to come down, and that is pretty much proven. And it's going to be a blessing in disguise, actually. You know, you look at the medical side of it. If you can predict someone's health 10 years before or 5 years before, probably you would take that, right? So you will actually not create AI as a devil. But yes, we will take more informed decisions. This predictive analysis, predictive algorithms, what we have to do is a regular audit in order to make sure that these are not biased. And again, I think you might have learned about the supervised and unsupervised learning in machine learning. Right, so it's an open AI, right? So there's data which is flowing around. What kind of data I push to the algorithm, that is going to be very important. Is it contextualized to the Indian mindset, or is it a global data set? So there are a lot of these parameters which will make sure that my AI is not biased, and I can predict, you know, as much as to an accuracy of 99%, but we are pretty far from there, right? So that's what my understanding is all about.
Honestly, my take on this is that बच्चे को शुरू से ही संस्कार दो कि वो terrorist ना बने कल. So AI is like a newborn child, right? So you keep a check on the AI, and there's something known as ethical AI, right? Ethical practices in AI. Basically, AI will work on whatever data is being fed into that. Like Jasmeet mentioned regular audits, regular understanding of what kind of data is being fed into the system. What is the child learning really? That's very important. So don't let it reach a stage where it becomes a terrorist. Keep that in check. Okay, so I think that is how we should deal with this.
Ma'am, for example, for any hypothetical condition that we have to shut down the AI, then my question is, how would human resource tackle that? My second part of question, for any hypothetical condition, then how can people deal with that?
देखो, the human aspect of human resources cannot go away. जिंदगी बिफोर AI भी चल रही थी, अभी भी चल रही है और उसके बाद भी चलती रहेगी. So as long as they are humans and they are human connections, I don't think AI is only an assistance or an added element or an added layer to the whole factor of human resources, with or without it. Okay, so it's like a frill. Okay, a cake without icing is also a cake. Okay, a cake without a cherry is also a cake.
So I think very quickly I'll just sum this up. You know, think about chatbots being introduced in Toronto. That was in Canada, right? Think about internet being introduced in Europe. And think about your deep learning introduced in Western countries. Can you live without internet today?
No.
So when this was introduced, probably a student like you probably would have questioned, what if internet fails? Right? But internet has evolved, and it has always allowed us to take better decisions and informed decisions. And I think that's what the role of AI is.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So can one of the coordinators pass on the chocolate to him, or maybe at the end we'll have all the 4 people come on the stage. Now my second question, anybody? Yes, this lady there.
Good morning all. I am Jitanshi, currently pursuing PGDM from Maharaja Agrasen Business School. So my question is to you, sir. as you said that recruitment is being done through AI, and as we know that it's a predictive analysis, as ma'am discussed it. So, but she also said that humans are kind of unpredictable, and we are the ones who are making AI learn. So, do you think that humans could beat AI in recruitment?
4 things that they cannot beat right now: emotions, engagements, relationships. Broadly these 3. I'm sure that the AI is not able to beat human beings in these contexts. But the other way around, we can create an algorithm in order to assess a candidate on any given parameter and give that insight to the HR in order to take an informed decision.
Okay, so you are assessing recruitment based on AI.
Yeah.
So do you think that you are able to judge the person through AI? Basically, the AI is able to judge the person's
yes.
the cultural and social fit.
No. So we are not able to do that right now. The AI is not able to do an assess on the cultural side or the emotional side of it or the relationship building, But yes, there are other parameters and other competencies, which we can obviously discuss later. But those are those parameters which can be taken care of.
Okay, thank you.
Hello ma'am, Diya this side. I'm doing BBA currently. I'm in 2nd year. So one question is striking into my mind is we all are discussing about AI. So I personally feel AI is a brain, but it's not a heart. So no emotions, right? So the thing is, as you said, recruitment thing also. So couldn't you feel अगर somebody is getting an interview sorted, तो पहले ही वो screening से AI से होके आया है, filter out होके somebody is getting a chance, opportunity for an interview. Then also you are enforcing AI to just do it. And if I get a job instance, I'm getting a job in Google, so I would be nervous for that, right? So I will be having that emotion. I would be a little fearful. So that's the human tendency, I would say. And you can't judge people how much the person is frowning,
Okay,
how much person...
before, I have understood that question, but before Jasmeet takes over it, we had a recent Shahid Kapoor and Kirti Sanan's movie, right?
Yeah.
With a humanoid, right? And there were emotion aspect to it as well, right? Kya naam tha movie ka? Shifra was the name of the humanoid, and I don't remember the Teri Aankhon Mein Aisa, that movie, right? So what I'm saying is that, this is becoming a reality already, wherein there is going to be a large element of emotions also integrated into, the robots, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, because they're learning from humans. So you cannot say that artificial intelligence is a pure play only brain. There are certain emotions that will also automatically get integrated into it because the trainer of that is a human.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But the thing is, if somebody is very unpredictable, I'm having an interview, I'm very conscious that I have to do this for future and all, and somehow my internet fails. What if? And AI can't judge it. Usko to nahi pata chalega na ki some problems or unpredictable circumstances is always there. You can't judge an emotion, or you can't judge some unpredictable situations as well. So that's why I say you can't judge a people on the basis of an AI tool that his or her confidence level is this much, or should I take this or this person for the interview. So itni screening ke baad agar somebody is getting the chance for an interview, so I personally feel there should be a human element so that a person could understand how emotions are and how actually he interacts and feels the bond or something. So that's why I say you can't replace that. And for the interview thing, I personally feel it's not that way. I don't know how things are. I'm too a fresher. I'm in 2nd year, but I personally feel that can't change for life.
I think you're right, and AI has pros and cons. So this can be considered as con. That this is where it is going. But as Gen Zs who are coming into the market and creating this great world, as you are using this more, start to create and develop something which you also feel should be there. Yeah?
So yeah, you are absolutely right. I am creating an...
so I'll answer your question, right? So what you're talking about is from an academic standpoint, right? I've gone through some rounds, I have faced some human beings. Now that I was so drilled, I should not face a machine end of the day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Now think from the other way around. What if you have a profile on Instagram?
Yeah, I do have a profile.
You spend a good amount of time every day, right?
Yeah.
Good. Facebook?
No.
Snapchats?
Yeah.
LinkedIn?
Yeah.
What if my AI scans all these platforms of yours and gives me some kind of prediction that this candidate is not the best fit, but is the right fit, or the other way around? It's not the right fit, but the best fit, because there's a hell line difference between the best fit and the right fit. So every organization is looking for a right fit. So what we are thinking right now, AI is only from an academic standpoint. I'm giving interviews, I'll be shortlisted or rejected. But think about where I can correlate your selection with some kind of data which is moving around you and you are not aware about it, right? So in order to have you in my organization, and you should not come in and spoil my culture, right? So I think from a lot of angles when you talk about AI.
Can I just add one bit to your question? Just relax. Because when the AI is giving a report that she's nervous, the score is less, there is always a human element who takes a final decision and discounts the fact that this person has gone through multiple rounds and could be low on energy or low on confidence, could be nervous. So the scores are given, but they are read by a human to take the final decision.
Then also the shortlisting thing happens now. Like I personally feel if 5 candidates are with me, and my
in that case, you know, in machine learning, the humans are feeding it in. So if they give that commands to that you have to discount this factor in the person who's given the 4th round, and it is that the AI will automatically, it's a tool. What you feed into that tool, the tool will give out. They are not judging you. They are judging the commands and the reactions. Remember that. Yeah.
What's your name?
Dia.
Dia. So Dia, I'm a recruiter, okay? And when we look at recruitment, there are 50% hard skills, which are your technical skills, and 50% is soft skills, which comprises of your communication, leadership, etc., etc. Okay? The hard skills are just hard skills, okay? Either you know it or you don't know it. I think that particular aspect can be very well assessed by AI, because there are no it's either a yes or a no. It's either a right or a wrong. There are no grey areas there, right? But in the soft skills, there will be the grey areas. So I feel that the first screening, which is skill set based screening, should be done by AI to reduce our workload. Look at me, okay? I have to test 1,000 students, okay? I have XYZ amount of requirement, okay? Yesterday, out of about 500, 600 students who were tested, emphasis on the campus, right? 208 got shortlisted. I had a system in place to filter that out. AI is a filtering system, understand that. And it is going to filter you on the hard skills part of it. The soft skills can be taken care of by the human part. But that thing has been filtered down to few. There has to be certain criteria. You can't keep discounting everything, okay? AI is supposed to be an assistant to reduce your workload. That's exactly what we are trying to take help here on. Okay? Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
great. And the last question, yes.
So good morning everyone. My name is Ankit Mittal from Maths, currently enrolled in PGDM course. So my question is related to stock market. Can I have a question on this?
Which one?
Stock market.
Yeah, go ahead. If it is related to AI, yes.
Yes. So the question is, as AI is the future, so how AI can build strong green portfolio in the coming future trends of stock market?
So stock market is all about candles, hedging, right? It's all numbers, right? It's a number game. You might have seen a lot of Instagram channels where people predict that the market will crash on 28th. Right now everyone is saying the market will crash on 28th. Why? Because there are US elections. And at the same point of time, 28th, numerologically, it's not a good day. I mean, either things will turn around to be good or things will turn around to be bad. Right? So everyone is predicting, right? But whatever these predictions are they scientifically, backed up? Is there an evidence to whatever they're saying? And that's where AI would come in, right? So there are a lot of AI tools in the stock market which are anywhere, predicting that what will happen and what could happen to a specific, let's say, a commodity or a share, that how this chart will actually move, and then you can basically take informed decisions. One of the applications is Univest, UNIVEST. They let you know that you invest in this particular share and this will go for 15% hike in next 2 months. So this is how the AI would come in this topic.
Also, you have to understand that AI works on past data analysis. Okay, so whatever existing past analysis data will predict, it will happen. I mean, it will basically give prediction based on the past data. But there can be certain black swans also. COVID was a classic black swan. Did any of us anticipate that we will just stop moving out of our homes and not interact with people around? I mean, for us, movement was a way of life. Did anybody predict that 100% of the offices will be work from home? So my thing is that AI can only do analysis on the past data and make predictions based on past data. But if there are certain behaviors which are anomaly to what the past data was, you cannot predict that. And there's always a probability, कहते हैं ना, maths में, वो probability will only work in that way. That is my stance in it, yeah.
I am having a very simple question, coordinate question. Like, Urmila, everyone knows, was wife of Lakshman. And many of us also know that she was the daughter of Lord Chana. Now, for Google, if you search Urmila, you will not get Urmila of Ramayana in the top 100 searches. But AI has done one marvelous thing, that if you ask the question, who was Urmila, they will first tell you about Urmila of Ramayana. Now, my question is that why the answer of who was Urmila is different in search phone, my phone, and the person who is sitting beside me, he is a student. If it is taking just the previous data and not the data which we are asking for in our phone, in our devices, then how is it happening?
So sir, it is also understanding what kind of a user you are and what kind of your search is. So please understand that your data, that is what is being debated these days, the data privacy aspect of it. Most of these phones, most of these social media channels are constantly tracking what kind of a user and what kind of question, or they are not only collecting data about the world, but they are also customizing it as per the user who is using that particular device. So your question that you will ask will be customized, the answer will be customized based on the kind of searches you have done in the past.
Synonym to this scenario is, on Shan's phone, probably when she'll go onto the Facebook, she'll get recommendations of a car like BMW, and probably I'll get for Mercedes, right? We both want to buy new cars, we both want to buy luxury cars, but in the past, because Shan has searched and browsed a lot of BMW, let's say magazines and all that stuff, so Facebook will push that. And for me it's Mercedes, because I was actually interested in that, right? So how do you phrase it? What's your control mechanism in your database, your data sets? I think that also works around. Yeah? Thank you.
Hello, this is Bhaskar Kapoor. I am assistant professor in IT department. My question from Bindu ma'am.
Yes.
Like, we are talking about the chat GPT, generative AI and all stuff like. So we are sitting in an institution and we are researching more and more in AI field. And chat GPT is one of the example. And most of the students they solve the assignment with the help of chat GPT. So one side we are research more and more in this field like ChatGPT and generative AI, and one side we are stopping students who don't solve assignment with the help of ChatGPT and all. So how to deal with such type of situation in the institution like?
So ChatGPT should not be used as a tool to churn out the final assignment. But I would definitely recommend students to use that tool to be able to do the research which they would have gone to a library and opened so many books and wasted so much of time. So once they've got it, after that if they do cut, copy, paste, then it is of no use. But after that they have analyzed, put in their own thought and done some higher order thinking skills of analyzing why something should not be the way it is presented. That is where the real learning happens from my side. Right? So if students are just doing a 5-minute job of, okay, today I have to submit the assignment and here it is, and just cut, copy, paste and do some plagiarism masking, it has defeated the purpose. So I would even urge the professors to allow them to use the ChatGPT, but beyond that, put in their own analysis of how they're critiquing it, how it could have been better. That is where the real learning will happen.
Now we'll quickly have those 4 students come on the stage. Dia, that lady there. Come on, yeah, quickly. So a round of applause for them, honestly. I'm sure all of us had many questions in our minds, but they have the guts to stand up and ask their doubts. Come on, come on. Congratulations. Yeah, come.
All the trustees over here for supporting us both financially and physically in celebrating the Silver Jubilee for 4 days. So a big round of applause by everyone to our management for this very big support. And regarding the panel discussion today, the panelists over here, 4 of them, I am extremely thankful to all of them. Dr. BINDU KHOSLA, a very, very close and dear friend of mine. I have done many sessions with her, and today again with another session. Mr. RUPAN KHOSLA, her husband, my classmate, could not be here because he is having fever. So extremely thankful to Dr. BINDU. Ms. Shan Vats, she was here yesterday also, and today I was doubting a little bit as I had a talk with Amit that maybe she might not be able to come. So I was very enthusiastic, and a very jovial and a strong personality, being from an army background. And today in the panel discussion, she has, motivated all the faculty and the students also. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here with us. Mr. Jasmeet Teti, he has also been with us, and very supportive, and he has taught our students a lot. A small discussion in my office and then such a good discussion over here. It was very enthusiastic for everybody. Ms. Pia Sahani, you also, thank you very much. You have been very enthusiastic, and the way you have mingled with all of them, and you have done the session, and it was very interesting. And everybody in the hall, though a few students left the hall because they are having their recruitment, they were being, Infosys recruitment is also going on, SCL recruitment is also going on, so they had left. But all those who are left back, everybody was totally engrossed, and definitely we will be holding another session, a longer session shortly with all of you. Thank you very much.
I request all the dignitaries, please come on the dais. To mark an auspicious beginning of today's event, as well as to seek prosperity for all present today, let us invoke Ma Saraswati by kindling the lamp of light.
माँ सरस्वती के चरणों में भावभीनी श्रद्धांजलि।
May I request Dr. Nandkishore Garg sir to release Maid Journal of Science and Technology. MAID Journal of Science and Technology. It is the mirror of our academic excellence. This is under the guidance of Professor J.V. Desai, Professor Neelam Sharma, Professor S.S. Deswal and Professor Sachin Gupta. MAID Journal of Management will also be released shortly. Dr. Mulchan, Dr. Neelu and the entire team of this.